most of us came into this period unprepared for how to deal with a disaster. Like truly deal with a disaster.
I'm Rabbi Lauren Holtzblatt, and it's an honor to be here. And we are talking about a new program that we are doing here at Addis called Stepping Back In. I'll just say one of the things that I love about this program is that it is Addis expanding itself as a movement of listeners. You know more than anyone the kind of difficulty we've seen, the kind of struggle, the loss, the pain, the isolation. And also, honestly, I've also talked to some people who, throughout this pandemic, they're more introverted and have felt really great being home and are feeling nervous about re-entering society and what that actually means. And 2 years of being in that isolation and the shift back into the world. Yeah. So we are going to create listening circles here at Addis so that congregants can listen to each other, so that our community can become a community of listeners in order to transition back into the world. Yeah. And I want to give you a chance to talk about what these circles are, what it's going to look like for people who might want to participate in this. What can they expect?
So firstly, Rabbi Holtzblatt, I have to be honest that the fact that you are trusting in your own congregation, because it's not clergy that are going to be leading these circles, but that you are trusting in other congregants, myself included, to train facilitators and then be the facilitators of these listening circles is pretty profound, because I think that is part of the foundation of these listening circles that we are looking to create after being separated and isolated and not connecting. Part of what will make these listening circles so powerful is building trust. Mm-hmm. And you're sort of putting the blessing out, saying like, we're trusting, our congregants to really help each other and be supportive of each other. What we're hoping for is that there will be 4 listening circles, and the listening circles will be small group circles that are made up of congregants, and then there will be a facilitator within the listening circle who really is about creating a container for the group. Everybody in the circle will be about creating sacred space, safe space, trusting space, and that will be what allows us to dive a little bit more into the content. And the content is, to be honest, looking at these last 2 years and how do we all get to a place of understanding who we are, what we have lost and changed and about ourselves, tangibly, intangibly, what that means, looking at how we have changed and grown and the resiliency that we have potentially found within ourselves. And then what's next? Like, how do we move back in?
These groups will allow us inside this community to see who's standing with us.
I hope you're standing with me.
Of course.
And I'll be here too.
Yes.
Not in the circles, but I'm going to be here really experiencing what you all are bringing. Who is this program for?
I'm happy to say it is for absolutely everyone. This is not about therapy. This is about providing an opportunity for reflective listening for everyone. And so it doesn't matter whether you feel like you've made it through, which unfortunately we're entering our 3rd year, so there's no through yet. So how do we incorporate our present reality, mourn the things that we have had to leave behind, including people we dearly love, and find peace with our now to bring into whatever the future is.
I'm thinking for a moment of people who are watching this and thinking, okay, what can I expect when I'm joining one of these groups? I know it's not going to be led by the rabbis. I know it's congregants listening to congregants, but when I log on, do I have to speak? Do I have to speak right away? What am I talking about?
What I hope each person receives is being seen and heard, including those, and perhaps especially those who are not ready to turn their camera on.
You know, I don't know why these words keep coming up, but I think about sort of the terms of like chaver lechaver, and you know, how are we friend to friend? Sometimes we know exactly how to show up for a friend,
Right.
And sometimes we think we know how to show up for a friend. But I see these listening circles as people showing up to potentially create friendships or deepen friendships. You know, potentially you're not a great listener, but this resonates because you know that these last 2 years has really taken its toll. But one of your goals for the groups is to listen to yourself more. And this is going to give you the space and be able to reflect to somebody else and be like, yes, yes, finally someone else is saying what I've been saying to myself, or that there might be a nugget of Torah that is brought in, and that gives a moment of quiet reflection for someone. So, you know, Sabrina, I think you're right on. Everybody who is interested should know that this is for them. Yeah. And we will be navigating the space together. And that might be what's a little different from these last 2 years, especially if people feel like they've really been doing it alone, that there's going to be guides, and there's going to be supports, and there's going to be cheerleaders, and there's going to be people who just smile back. And you can be a person who smiles back, and you can be a person who says something.
I think one of the things that's really important to emphasize in terms of, again, talking about this being open to everyone, we have a racial, multicultural, wonderful mix of people who are part of this community. Everyone is welcome. We also have LGBTQ and more in the community that are also welcome. And I think it's important for all of us to know that this is more than a spiritual home. It's more and more every year I'm experiencing Addis as a community, and a community I care a lot about. And so I want everyone to have that feeling, and this is another way to have that feeling.
We're so grateful at Addis that we're able to offer this. We're grateful to Naomi Malka for making this grant possible for us through the Covenant Foundation. And really, we're ready to build a movement of listeners here at Addis.